if it comes down to it. I'm happy to sacrifice a pawn with something like sacrificing the a2 pawn, where his queen is one of his only developed pieces. Time is an issue. I wish my queen was... I'm so used to my queen being on a different square here. It's so weird that, now takes knight c4, interesting. Bishop h2, I better get developed. I'm going to sack this pawn. I may regret this, but it seems like he should be... I'm at the castle, actually. So this was kind of a mouse slip. But I still feel like we have very, very promising chances. Down a pawn or two, but his kingside looks kind of weak. We have knight f5, knight takes h6 threats. If he just goes pawn grabbing on the queen's side, I let the clock really go down, but this is incremental, so we have 1 second per move. Although this move scared me. E6, no problem. He's keeping my knight off of f5. I'm preparing to play king h2. But black has come back pretty nicely here. Okay, queen c2 or f3. I'm not real happy with this. Maybe pawn takes pawn and e5. This is pretty crazy, actually. I shouldn't do that. But I have to do something. I'm going to lose on time. I have knight g6. Win the pawn back. I don't know. Looks like I'm just like losing here. Opening up lines for him with this move. Sluggish, I underestimated. He played the opening really badly. This move's strong too. So I'm in some trouble. A d5. Yep. Very strong. He's just totally winning. So I don't know, sluggish there. Played horribly in the first few moves, but totally destroyed me. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Deceived me with very bad play, I thought, in the first 5 or 6 moves. Okay, that was instructive. I didn't lose that bad in a long time in chess 960. So I don't know. Stream may be unlucky. Let me know if you're interested in our site. Okay. Oh, I'm an admin at Lichess. Yeah, definitely. We'll get in touch. What we were talking about, we'll definitely be in touch. I made an account on Lichess today, so I'm thinking about it. We would be interested in doing a stream over there, perhaps. Really awful game by me. I mean, when it came down to it, but I'm not really sure what happened. It was very deceptive. It looked like black was underdeveloped, but actually I made a mouse slip. So, I mean, I didn't lose in the conventional sense. I mean, when I played king g1, I was trying to castle kingside. So, I click on the g1 square like it's sort of normal castling. But I ended up just trapping my rook on h1 and leaving my king on a bad square. Excuses, excuses. Let's try to go back to 15-minute chess. So the question from Espresso Forever, the English attack I think isn't as good as the Carey's attack, because the English attack, you're committed to playing the move f3, whereas like in the Carey's attack you can play like games where in the Scheveningen you're like a clear tempo up on English attack lines. So yeah, I mean this is why people don't like to play Scheveningen move order anymore like they did in the 80s. For example, like e4, c5, knight f3, e6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, knight c3, d6, g4. Most people are terrified of the Carey's attack for good reason. I mean, it's much quicker than the standard English attack lines of the Najdorf, where black seems to have a fair amount of counterplay. I don't play Crazy House. Yeah, no, this would get like really overboard. We're doing 5-minute. Sluggish deceived me. I thought he was going to be really fishy, but his rating's kind of low, and he played the opening moves very strangely. But then all of a sudden my whole position went completely to hell. Partly because of the mouse slip, king g1, but I think I was on the wrong path when he played b5. Maybe I should play b3 and just solidify the queen side that I just thought I could whip up some kingside threats. However, with my queen on c1, I don't have the ideas on the white squares that I would in a normal position. And that's one of the things about like Fischer random chess. You have to be careful. Okay, we've got a Hungarian grandmaster with white who. This is 5-minute chess. This guy's interesting. There's a couple interesting things about this guy that I don't know who it is. He's Hungarian, but I don't know who it is. First of all, I played him 3 or 4 times. He's very strong. Kind of positional style. The name is like French, so Hungarians don't run around like making names that have a French sound to them. There's no real connection between France and Hungary. So I'm going off on a real tangent here, and I have a wild theory that this is Grandmaster Josef Pinter, but I'm not sure. Because Pinter has some connections to France, and he would be about the right strength in Blitz for this guy. Like, he was over 2600. I mean, he's played with Kasparov and was even in like maybe the candidate cycle in the 80s. So I'm going off on a tangent here. I think it's Josef Pinter from my personal experiences with Pinter, but I'm not sure 100%. It could be somebody else. Let's play chess. So knight c6. We're going to play for a classical Sicilian. We gave Marangui about a 30-second time edge. But he's not that fast, which is one of the things that's kind of... He can play somewhat fast, but he's not a time player. Let's say that. Like some players. This guy thinks. It's unusual. But there are some players, some old school players here who still think about their moves. Now, the other day I got absolutely ripped apart by a guy in this line. I also lost to Leonid Yudasin in a tournament game in this line. Now here Angui is playing fast. Although against Yudasin I played the move a6, which I think is kind of regrettable actually. It's probably better not to play a6. This is classical idea, this rook d3, rook h3, rook d3. But I'm not that sure that it actually does anything. He has some threats of like sacking the exchange on d6 in some lines, e5 in some lines. Yudasin, tried to pick off my h-pawn. But the game was different with Yudasin because I played a6, as I said. I mean, this game transposed to like an old Kiriz Botvinnik game, what I'm talking about. Here, missed rook b3. But I'm not sure it's a big deal. He may be getting too fancy here, but I don't think so. I think he just trampled me completely with this move. Wow. Now I absolutely have to take on... Actually, maybe not. Maybe not, but it looks like I'm trampled. Yeah, this is pretty bad. Starting rook b3. So I'm going to have to sack a pawn at minimum here. Looks real bad. He's got rook b3. So I walked into this. Yeah. I'm telling you, I think this guy is a really strong player. He's totally anonymous. And he fits the bill for Pinter. He plays the King's Indian. Actually, the dead giveaway, if I really wanted to research this guy, would be if he plays the black side of the closed Lopez. Like Breyer variation or something like that. If anybody wants to check it out, then I'd be probably like ironclad sure that's who this is. It could be a young player, but I don't know. I don't know anybody I can really figure out who it could be. It could be just a random name. I don't know. Maybe it's some... Anybody have a connection? You watched the llama? You had him out. You had this guy. Had him till he crushed me in every aspect. Yeah. No, man, I don't know who this is, but I have my suspicions. I think that I'm dealing with a very strong player. But I'm probably lost. I'm going to lose a pawn for nothing here. So, it's not good. I have to stop. I have to stop completely. I don't know what to do. I mean, basically, rook b3 just ends the game if he plays that. So, I don't have another idea besides bishop a4. He should play queen takes, I guess. I have a little bit of sort of imaginary counterplay here with something like rook c8, but he does bishop a3. Wow. Okay. That's pretty disturbing. Wow. I don't know, man. I think it's time to resign, folks. I just, completely walked into the guy's favorite line or something. Knight a5, it goes to say, without saying, was not a good move in this exact position. Yep. No, I'm just going to resign. So somebody who likes the white side of the rouser. Yeah, that wasn't pretty. It's not pretty to lose black in 17 moves. Old school, very strong. I'm going to say it's Pinter. I don't know. It could be somebody else. But it could be somebody else. It could be a younger player, but I don't know who. And I don't know why the French name would be connected to a younger player. So, anyway, it's fun to speculate about these things. Let's try a 5-minute game. No, it wasn't a good try. Sorry, David. I do sometimes make some good tries, but this was not one of them. I've been experimenting in this line with delaying a6. The positions are a little different than I'm used to, but I never had this happen in a lot of games. I never walked into knight a5, knight d5 where I couldn't take on b3 because his rook captures it. Strangely, I don't know why, but yeah, that just kills me immediately. So good trap to know about. We'll try to get in a 15-minute pool here. We got one. Concrete 2040. Not running good in 5-minute chess, but 15-minute is okay. So let's try something different here. We will play our Scandinavian. I've done alright against that guy in some other games, but this was not one of them. I've played some tough games against him. There have been 4 or 5 games. So I don't think I beat him, but there were several draws. E takes D, knight f6. Good practical opening. I've done a lot of lectures on this. You can check out my old lectures if you join chesslecture.com. There might be a few wandering around that were given out for free on the internet. But I'm not playing the Scandinavian really anymore. It's sort of analyzed now in the computer era. Again, I'll keep playing it in practical games, but I mean in terms of like long games and serious games, I think the days of this opening are somewhat numbered. Okay, knight f3, g6. I find that more and more I used to like surprise people with this, but it seems that even the average player who's maybe like 2100 can wheel out the first 15 moves and get an advantage with white. That didn't used to be the case 10 years ago. Maybe I made too many videos. Now bishop d3 though, here he plays a move I've never seen before. Bishop takes d4, as it would be in the Grunfeld as well. It's like very greedy. It is a central pawn, but I'm not sure you want to give up your dark square bishop here, although I know some daring grandmasters who might. Bishop takes d4 it. I think you can, but it's not really my preferred approach. I think it's kind of unnecessary risk. After bishop takes c2 in that game, he just takes with the queen, I think. Yes, rook coming back to c3. No? So here we're going to fight for the d4 square. Yeah, I was lost, but I'm getting closer to the secret identity of Marangui.